AITA for moving out after she said we broke up. Then her sister confessed to me? My girlfriend would tell me she loved me at night, but by day, she presented herself as single. The worst part is, everyone believed her. I don't even know where to begin. I'm sitting in my car at 3 in the morning because I can't bring myself to go back to our apartment right now. What I found out today has completely turned my world upside down. I'm 28. I work as a night security guard downtown, and I'm finishing my criminal justice degree at a community college. I make about $42,000 a year. It's not a lot, but I know how to manage my money well. My girlfriend, Brielle, and I have been together for 6 years. She works part-time at a boutique and makes around $18,000 a year. We've lived together for 3 years, and I cover the rent, utilities, and most of our shared expenses since I earn more. Brielle has always been social. She goes out with her friends on Friday nights and takes weekend trips to visit her sister. I'm more of a homebody between work and school, but I've always supported her social life. I trusted her completely. Yesterday, I was scrolling through Instagram when I saw something that made no sense at all. Our mutual friend, Nolan, had posted pictures from a birthday party last weekend. In the background of one of the photos, you could clearly see Brielle kissing a guy I had never seen before. She was wearing the dress she bought last month for a weekend with her college friends. I texted Nolan, "Dude, was Brielle at Jake's party last weekend? I thought she was on a trip with her college friends." His reply hit me like a ton of bricks. "Bro, I thought you guys broke up months ago. She has been bringing Tristan to everything since February. Did you guys get back together?" "Broke up months ago. Who the hell is Tristan?" "I've been living with her, sleeping next to her, paying our bills, and apparently, everyone thinks we broke up in February." I called Nolan immediately. "Nolan, what do you mean, we broke up? We live together. You were just at our place last Tuesday." "Oh my God, Carter. Brielle has been telling everyone you guys broke up in February. She said it was mutual and you were just figuring out the living situation, but that she was single and seeing other people. We didn't break up. We were planning a trip for next month. There was no break, no breakup, nothing." After hanging up, I spent hours scouring social media like a detective. For the past 3 months, every time Brielle said she was going out with friends or visiting her sister, she was with this Tristan guy. Pictures of them at restaurants, concerts, looking like a couple, while I was working nights thinking she was just with friends. But what destroyed me the most was something else. She looked happier in those photos than she had with me in months, as if she were living a completely parallel life where I simply didn't exist. I also found something that made my blood boil. Brielle was active on dating apps using photos from our relationship, actual pictures from our trips, but with me cropped out. A photo from our weekend in the mountains last fall now showed just her on the trail with the caption, "Love exploring new places. You could be here by my side." He was using our relationship as promotional material to find my replacement while lying to everyone about our status. I've been sitting in this parking lot for 2 hours, trying to process all of this. How long has she been planning this? How long have I been some kind of joke to our mutual friends? How long have I been paying rent, bills, and groceries for someone who has been telling everyone she's single? She's supposed to be back tomorrow night from her weekend with college friends, which I now realize is probably a romantic weekend with Tristan. I have no idea how to bring this up without completely losing my cool. Update 1. I decided to use the weekend she was away to get my life in order and figure out exactly what I was dealing with. The first thing I did was call her sister, Kelsey. Brielle and I always got along well with Kelsey. She had been to our apartment several times, knew we lived together, and seemed to like me. I thought if anyone would tell me the truth about what Brielle had been saying, it would be her. "Kelsey, it's Carter. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me." "Hey, Carter. What's up? Did Brielle tell you we broke up?" There was a long pause. Why are you asking?" "Because I just found out she has been telling our mutual friends that we broke up months ago. I'm trying to understand how far this lie has spread." "Oh my God, Carter, this is really awkward. Just tell me the truth. Kelsey, please." "She told me and our mom that you broke up in February because you were being too controlling of her social life. She said you wouldn't let her go out with friends and that you made her feel trapped." I almost dropped the phone. "Controlling? Kelsey, I never tried to control her social life. I always encouraged her to go out. I pay for her ride shares when she goes out drinking so she doesn't have to worry about getting home safely. I know this is weird to hear, but she said you two fought a lot and that you threatened to kick her out if she didn't stop seeing her friends. That's completely made up. We don't fight, and I've never threatened to kick her out. We live together. We share expenses. We sleep in the same bed every night. How did she explain that part? She said you were still figuring out the living situation, but that she was looking for a place of her own. That's insane. Brielle had created a whole fictional narrative where I was the controlling boyfriend she had bravely broken free from, when in reality, I was supporting her financially and emotionally while she cheated on me and lied to everyone about our relationship. Kelsey, she's lying to you. We're together. We've always been together. Yesterday morning, she told me she loved me before she left for her trip. That doesn't make sense. She has been asking our mom for money to help with rent, saying the situation with her roommate wasn't working out. And there it was. Brielle had been telling her family she needed financial help because her living situation was unstable, all while I was paying 100% of our rent and expenses. She was getting money from two sources, me and her family, by lying about our relationship status. After hanging up with Kelsey, I called my friend Miles from work. Miles went through a messy divorce and is very practical when it comes to relationships. Miles, I need your help with something, and I need you not to ask too many questions until I explain everything. What's going on, man? Brielle has been cheating on me and lying about our relationship for months. She's out of town until tomorrow night, and I need to get my stuff out and cut ties completely before she gets back. Damn, what do you need? Help moving and a place to stay for a few days while I figure out a new living situation. Done. When do we start? I spent the rest of Saturday methodically removing myself from Brielle's life. I took pictures of everything in the apartment for documentation, packed all my things, and took them to Miles's place. I took my name off the lease. Fortunately, it was a month-to-month lease, and I only had to give 30 days notice. I canceled all the utilities in my name: electricity, gas, internet, and cable. I called the landlord and explained that I was moving out and would not be responsible for any damages or late rent after that date. I also went to the bank and closed our joint account, transferring my money to a new account at a different bank. That account only had about $800 in it, money I deposited for shared expenses, so it wasn't like I was taking anything that was truly hers. The hardest part was dealing with our dog, Copper. He's technically mine. I adopted him before Brielle, and I live together. He's microchipped in my name, and I pay all his vet bills. But Brielle loves him, and I knew taking him would hurt her. Still, I couldn't leave him with someone who had been lying to me for months and would probably forget to feed him once the drama started. By Sunday night, it was as if I had never lived there. All my furniture, my clothes, my books, my kitchenware, even my plants. Everything was gone. I left her things untouched, but removed everything that was mine or that I had paid for. The apartment looked completely different, with only her belongings left. I wrote a short note and left it on the kitchen counter. Brielle, I know about Tristan. I know about the lies you've been telling everyone about us breaking up. I know about the dating apps. It's over. Do not contact me. The utilities will be shut off on Monday since they were in my name. The landlord knows I'm moving out. Your half of this month's rent is paid, but after that, it's on you. I left my key on top of the note, took one last look around, and walked out. This morning, I got a call from Kelsey. Carter, Brielle called me crying, asking if I could send her money to pay the electric bill. She said her roommate suddenly moved out and left her with all the bills. Should I send it? No. Kelsey, don't send her any money. She's 26 and has been lying to you for months about our relationship. It's time for her to learn to support herself. But what if she can't pay the rent? Then she'll have to find a cheaper place or move back in with family. That's not my problem anymore, and it shouldn't be yours either. Brielle has been calling and texting me nonstop since she got back last night, but I've blocked her number. She has tried calling from other numbers, but I'm not answering anything I don't recognize. I know she's probably panicking because her whole scheme has fallen apart, but honestly, that's what happens when you try to maintain a double life. She wanted to be single so badly that she convinced everyone she was. Now she can actually be single and deal with all the responsibilities that come with it. I'll be staying at Miles's for another week while I look for a new place. It's weird to start over at 28, but it's also liberating. For the first time in years, I'm only responsible for my own bills and my own choices. More updates to come as this situation unfolds. Update 2. Things have escalated quite a bit since my last update. And honestly, I'm shocked at how desperate and manipulative Brielle has become now that she's lost her safety net. First, let me tell you what happened when she got back from her weekend trip. Miles has a security camera in his apartment complex. On Sunday night, around 11 at night, we saw Brielle's car pull up outside. She just sat there for about 20 minutes before getting out of the car and starting to walk around the building, trying to figure out which apartment was his. Miles and I watched from the window as she called my phone repeatedly, pacing back and forth in the parking lot. Eventually, she gave up and left, but not before leaving a note on Miles's car that said, "Carter, please call me. We need to talk. This is all a big misunderstanding." On Monday morning, I went to speak with my supervisor at work and explained that I was dealing with a personal situation and that some extra security might be needed in case my ex-girlfriend tried to contact me at work. My supervisor was cool about it and said they would keep an eye out. I'm glad I did, because on Tuesday night, around 2 in the morning, during my shift, Brielle showed up at the office complex where I work. I was doing my rounds when I got an alert that someone had entered the parking garage. The security cameras captured everything. Brielle went straight to the main entrance and started banging hard on the glass doors, trying to get my attention. When I didn't respond, she went back to her car and sat there with the engine running for over an hour. I called my supervisor and the building's security team, and they reviewed the footage the next morning. Seeing her on the cameras like that, looking desperate and unstable, made it crystal clear how little I actually knew the person I had lived with for 6 years. What bothered me most was how calculated her approach was. She knew my work schedule, knew I would be alone, and knew I couldn't just abandon my post. She was trying to force a confrontation in a place where I had no easy way to escape or avoid her. On Wednesday, I got a text from Nolan. "Dude, Brielle showed up at my apartment asking if I knew where you were living. She was crying and saying you abandoned her and took everything. Is that true?" I called Nolan and explained the whole situation. The lies about the breakup, the financial manipulation, the double life. His response was exactly what I needed to hear. "Oh my God, Carter, I had no idea. The way she talked about your breakup, it sounded mutual, like you were both moving on. She never mentioned you were still living together and that you were paying the rent. What exactly did she tell you when she showed up?" "She said you two had a fight, that you left without warning, took all the furniture, and left her with bills she couldn't pay. She asked if she could crash on my couch for a few days until she got things sorted out. And what did you say?" I told her no. "After what you told me about the lies and the cheating, I'm not getting involved in that drama." Nolan wasn't the only one she tried to manipulate. Over the next few days, I got messages from several mutual friends saying she had contacted them, telling variations of the same story, that I had suddenly abandoned her, left her with all the bills, and took furniture that was ours, not just mine. What she didn't expect was that these people would check the story with me. Everyone who reached out got the full truth about what had been happening, complete with screenshots of her dating app profiles and pictures of her with Tristan. The reaction was unanimous. No one wanted to get involved to help someone who had been lying and cheating for months. On Thursday morning, Kelsey called me. "Carter, I need to tell you something about Brielle that I think you need to know." "What is it?" "She came to stay at my place last night because she got evicted from the apartment. While she was here, she was on the phone with someone. I think it was Tristan, and she was saying that this was all part of her plan." "What plan?" "She said something about planning this transition period for over a year, that she needed to keep things financially stable with you while she decided what she really wanted. She said she never imagined you would just disappear because you're too nice and would always take care of her." It made me sick to my stomach to hear that. She planned this for a year? It sounded like it. She was complaining that Tristan now doesn't want to live with her because he doesn't want the drama of dealing with her ex-boyfriend's situation. She seemed annoyed that her plan backfired. So there it was, the truth. Brielle wasn't confused about what she wanted or going through a rough patch in our relationship. She had been systematically planning to replace me while using me for financial and emotional support during the transition. She kept me around as a safety net while she built her exit strategy. The most satisfying part of the call with Kelsey came next. "Carter, I wanted you to know that Mom and I are cutting her off financially. After finding out the truth about what she did to you, we're both disgusted. She's 26 and needs to learn to take care of herself instead of manipulating people who care about her." I appreciate that, Kelsey, really. She has been lying to our whole family for months. making everyone believe you were controlling and abusive, when in reality you were supporting her the whole time. That's not acceptable. The final confirmation came yesterday when I spoke with the manager of the boutique where Brielle works. I needed to update my emergency contacts for insurance purposes anyway, so I mentioned that Brielle and I were no longer together. "Oh, that's a shame," the manager said. "But to be honest, that explains some things about her behavior lately." "How so?" "She's been calling in sick a lot more often, and when she does come in, she spends most of her time on her phone texting. We've had to talk to her about customer service complaints because she's been distracted and rude to customers." "How long has this been going on?" "Since about February, I'd say. Right around the time she started talking about this new boyfriend she was seeing." Even at work, Brielle's focus was on her double life, not her responsibilities. She had been phoning it in at her job while I carried the financial weight of our life together. Now I'm settled in a small apartment, nothing fancy, but it's clean, affordable, and all mine. Copper loves having his own space again. And honestly, I'm sleeping better than I have in months. I know Brielle is struggling now. That reality has hit her hard. But this is the consequence of trying to manipulate multiple people for your own convenience. She wanted the freedom of being single with the security of our relationship. And when I found out the truth, she lost both. Final update. It's been over a week since I disappeared from Brielle's life, and I'm finally ready to share how this all ended. The fallout was even more revealing than the initial discovery and confirmed that leaving the way I did was, without a doubt, the right decision. First, an update on the practical side. I'm completely settled in my apartment, and it's incredible the peace of mind that comes with knowing every bill, every piece of furniture, and every responsibility is solely mine. There's no more lingering doubt about being used or supporting someone else's secret life. Copper has adapted perfectly to our new home. He seems calmer too, which makes me wonder if he was picking up on tension in our old apartment that I was too blind to see. But the real conclusion to this story was what happened with Brielle's increasingly desperate attempts to win me back once she realized how much she depended on my stability. Last Thursday, she somehow got my new address. I still don't know how. I haven't given it to anyone but my work and my landlord. She showed up at 7 in the evening, just as I was getting home from class, standing by my car in the parking lot. "Carter, please, we need to talk. You can't just throw away 6 years without giving me a chance to explain." I stood there looking at her, at this person I thought I knew, and I felt absolutely nothing. No anger, no sadness, no nostalgia, just emptiness. "There's nothing to explain, Brielle. You made your choices over the last year. Now you have to live with the consequences. It's not what you think. I was confused about what I wanted, but I never stopped caring about you." "You were confused for a whole year? Confused when you created dating app profiles using our pictures? Confused when you told your family I was controlling? Confused when you planned this transition period while I paid all our bills?" The color drained from her face. She didn't expect me to know about the lies to her family or the year-long planning. "How did you? Who told you that?" "That's not true. I loved you. I still love you. I just needed some time to think." "Time? You had plenty of time, Brielle. Time to date other people. Time to lie to everyone about our relationship status. Time to use my income while you played house with someone else. What you didn't have was the honesty to tell me what was going on." She started to cry, but it felt staged, as if she were trying to activate my protective instincts rather than expressing a genuine emotion. "I made mistakes, okay? But we can get through this. We've been together for 6 years, Carter. That has to mean something. It would mean something if those 6 years had been honest. But I have no idea how much of our relationship was real and how much was just you using me as a safety net." "I wasn't using you." "Really? Then why did you keep me around while you built a relationship with Tristan? Why did you let me pay all our bills while telling your family you needed money? Why did you lie to everyone about our status unless you were gaining something by keeping me in your life?" She couldn't answer any of those questions, which was an answer in itself. The conversation ended with her pleading for me to reconsider, promising to break up with Tristan, promising she would be honest from now on, promising she would change. But promises from someone who has lied for a year mean nothing. "Brielle, even if you were being sincere about changing, which I doubt, the trust is completely gone. I can't be in a relationship where I constantly have to wonder if you're telling the truth or planning your next exit. So that's it. You're just going to erase 6 years like they meant nothing." "I'm not erasing 6 years. I'm walking away from someone who erased 6 years while pretending to still be in the relationship. That was the last time I saw her. Over the weekend, I heard from Nolan that the situation with Tristan had fallen apart. Apparently, when he realized the drama involving Brielle lying to and financially manipulating her live-in boyfriend, he decided he wanted no part of that mess. He told people at a party he thought Brielle was actually single and would never have gotten involved if he'd known the truth about her situation. Now she's lost both relationships and has to deal with the financial reality of supporting herself for the first time in years. Kelsey texted me yesterday with the last piece of information I needed to close this chapter. Brielle moved back in with our parents. She has been telling everyone that you stole all the furniture and left her financially stranded. But Mom shut that down quickly. She said if Brielle was adult enough to lie and cheat, then she was adult enough to deal with the consequences without playing the victim. She keeps asking if we think she should try to win you back. And we keep telling her she should focus on learning to be honest and independent instead of looking for someone else to take care of her. That was exactly what I needed to hear. The people who truly matter in this situation, the mutual friends and family who actually know what happened, can see through Brielle's manipulation and the victim narrative she's trying to maintain. Looking back, I can see so many red flags I missed. The fact that she never offered to pay for dates or shared expenses. The way she would get defensive when I asked about her weekend plans. The way she always steered any conversation about our future toward what I could offer her instead of what we could build together. I think the relationship had been one-sided for a lot longer than just the last year. I was just too invested in the idea of what we were building to realize that she wasn't actually building it with me. The hardest part of this whole experience wasn't losing Brielle. It was realizing how little I had valued myself. I was so focused on being a good provider and a supportive partner that I never stopped to ask if I was receiving the same dedication in return. I'm 28 years old. I have a stable job. I'm finishing my degree. I have my own place, my dog, and friends who truly respect me. For the first time in years, I'm excited about my future instead of just trying to maintain someone else's comfort. The right person won't see you as a safety net or a transition plan. They'll see you as a partner who deserves honesty. Comment. Carter's story is a powerful reminder to all of us. It teaches us that we can't be the architect of a shared future if the other person is only using us as a temporary shelter. Always remember your own worth and ensure you're in a partnership, not just a plan B for someone else. Choosing to walk away from what's not right isn't an ending. It's the brave first step toward the future you truly deserve, a future built on honesty and mutual respect. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.